With everything happening in the world, an unnecessary war in Iran, gas prices are at record highs, beef prices at record highs, Donald Trump remains laser focused on building a fancy ballroom to host his fancy balls. And from the beginning, when he just bulldozed the historic East Wing of the White House, just without ever getting any permission from anyone to do such a thing, Trump has assured everybody that, like the border wall Mexico is going to pay for, this would cost exactly zero taxpayer dollars.
You see that area? Yeah. That is going to be the greatest ballroom anywhere in the world, and I'm paying for it. I'm paying for it.
These are all private individuals that put up a lot of money to build the ballroom. Not one penny is being used from the federal government. Myself and donors are giving them free of charge for nothing. We're donating a building.
Okay, so I'm paying for it, then donors are paying for it, free of charge, no money whatsoever. We're going to donate it. Well, prepare yourself because you're not going to believe this. But that's all BS, and you are the donors. Republicans announced that they are proposing $1 billion of taxpayer money for his ballroom. One of those earmarks tucked into a reconciliation bill that they are rushing through right now and can pass without any votes from Democrats. $1 billion of public money for a ballroom no one wanted, that Trump did not campaign on, that no one even thought was necessary, that Trump said would cost $200 million and zero public dollars, and is now $1 billion of your dollars. What a deal for the American people. Senator Cory Booker is a Democrat in New Jersey. He serves on the Judiciary and Foreign Relations Committee, and he joins me now. Well, I saw the push alert today, and I was like, wow, they're really going for it. I'm guessing you're probably a no on this. Senator Chuck Grassley has been insistent that the bill does not fund ballroom construction. It provides funds for Secret Service. It's all about security. The whole day saying it's not about the ballroom. And then, of course, the White House immediately is like, hey, thanks for the ballroom money. We're very happy to have it. So sounds like it is the ballroom, yes?
It is. That's what I'm being told. It may be security features in the ballroom. But remember, we don't want this. America doesn't want this. This is a $1 billion expense and really a fund that he created, a slush fund for more of these big corporations to try to curry favor with the president and his other pet projects. So I will tell you right now, this is straight on Marie Antoinette. That's probably what the M and A now stand for, MAGA. People want childcare. They don't want chandeliers. They want affordable drugs and health care, not more dance floors at the White House. And it's really an insult at a time that he's raising costs on Americans, taking away health care from Americans, taking away feeding programs from our school children. And now he's coming to Congress for $1 billion for this awful ballroom, which, frankly, he built in a way that thwarted all kind of historical protections on the building that used to stand there.
There has been a huge sea change in the terrain upon which these midterms are being fought over the last few weeks, partly because of the president sort of kicking off this round of partisan gerrymandering at his direction to kind of lock in a Republican advantage, and then the Supreme Court essentially gutting the Voting Rights Act, Louisiana, moving Tennessee, others to get rid of majority black districts in the South and get rid of black representatives in the South. How significant is this right now, and where do you diagnose we are as you watch one southern state after another announce their intention to essentially purge their states of their lone black and Democratic representatives?
Look, I'm just back from Birmingham, Alabama, where people paid for the rights that Americans enjoy right now in sweat, blood, and even death. The hurt and the anguish in that community was palpable, especially because it's history in a convulsive way repeating itself. Remember, right after the Civil War, so much blood, so much struggling. They had fair elections, and they were the first wave of African Americans that came to serve in Congress, from the first black senators to the first black House members. But by the 1870s, we saw the powers that be able to rejigger their elections by violating people's voting rights, and suddenly there was no African American representation. In fact, states from North Carolina to Alabama would not see, from the late 1800s, it wasn't until the 1980s, 1990s, until they got black representation again. And so here we are, after all of that history, all of that struggle, all of that sacrifice, 6 people erased the work and the progress of millions of Americans who bound together and said, we're going to create a free society with free voting. And so it is absurd in states where the black population is 20%, 25%, that there should be no federal representation that reflects the multicultural democracy that we have. It is systematically allowing states to stop African Americans from having just representation. This is not about right or left. It's right or wrong. And this is us revisiting dark chapters in our history that so eviscerated our ideals, our common shared principles of fairness in elections.
Increasingly, I hear from not just Democratic wonks or people in the legal world, but sort of average Democratic voters, primary voters, plugged-in people, but the kind of folks who are paying attention, that something has to be done about the court. That we've gone through other periods of time where the court was out of control. Go read the Lincoln-Douglas debates, and they're all about the court and what the court had done in Dred Scott. Do you feel that way? Is this a priority if Democrats regain power, that something must be done? Some change has to come to the way that this court currently functions?
Chris, we're pitching this, and you said Democrats. Again, these are issues that most Americans agree on. Most Americans are against partisan gerrymandering. Most Americans believe that we should have fair representation. The Supreme Court is another example of an area where most Americans agree. Most Americans agree that the highest court in the land should not have the lowest of ethics laws, and that billionaires can routinely shower Supreme Court justices with gifts, from mobile homes to fancy, expensive vacations. We all know that's wrong. In addition, most Americans agree that Supreme Court justices shouldn't sit on those benches until they're so ailing, just hoping they can hold on well past perhaps even senility, until their president lines up with their jurisprudence philosophies and they can leave the bench. That's why term limits are a good thing as well. And so, yes, we have to think hard about how we're going to reform the court and bring it back into alignment, especially because they're continuing to do things like we saw last week, eviscerate years and years and years of progress and throw us back to those dark years where so many people were successfully suppressing the votes of minority groups throughout the South.